Some Iraq news, posted by Clare at KTFA July 28, 2024. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. KTFA, Clare, Financial Inclusion Indicators. July 28, 2024. In order for this bank to prepare a database for financial inclusion indicators, which will be the basic foundation for measuring the percentage of financial inclusion in Iraq, we attach to all electronic payment service providers a database for financial inclusion statistics for individuals and companies in an electronic form, Excel file, that will be sent to your institution's email. Clare, Kurdistan government brings good news to employees under Article 140. July 28, 2024. The Kurdistan regional government announced on Sunday its intention to distribute plots of land to employees under Article 140. The Department of Media and Information said in a statement received by Shafaq news agency, in implementation of the decision of the Prime Minister of the region. The distribution of plots of land to employees will begin within Article 140 of the Constitution in the Kurdish regions outside the administration of the region. The regional government had previously announced the distribution of land to all employees, as it began the land survey process. Clare, the Kurdish government resolved crises with wisdom. A former member of the Kurdistan parliament, Baghdad has no excuse left. July 28, 2024. Former member of the Kurdistan regional parliament, Rebwar Babaki, confirmed today, Sunday, July 28, 2024, that the current regional government headed by Masroor Barzani was able to resolve the crises. Babaki said in an interview with Baghdad Today that, he added, the financial crisis and delayed salary payments were resolved wisely and diplomatically, even though some Iraqi political parties wanted to put obstacles to ending the dispute and wanted the crisis to continue. Babaki pointed out that the regional government did not leave any excuse for Baghdad, and therefore the salary crisis was resolved with wisdom and patience, and other crises were dismantled. On Thursday, May 30, 2024, the Prime Minister of the Kurdistan regional government, Masroor Barzani, visited the capital, Baghdad, to hold discussions with Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani and a number of senior officials in the federal government, in addition to meetings with leaders of political forces. According to a statement issued by the regional government, Masroor Barzani's meetings during his visit dealt with the latest developments on the political and security arenas in Iraq, and the emphasis on resolving the outstanding issues between the Kurdistan region and the federal government, especially securing the salaries of the citizens of the Kurdistan region and guaranteeing their financial rights and entitlements. According to the statement, the discussions also dealt with enhancing cooperation and joint coordination to ensure security and stability for Iraq and the Kurdistan region. In this regard, Masroor Barzani wrote on the X Twitter platform, "Today I am in Baghdad to affirm the rights of the people of Kurdistan and resolve differences through dialogue and on the basis of the Constitution," adding that stability and a strong economy should be our priorities. Clare, he is 19 years old and the most important of 150 suspended laws. Will the powers give up the golden paper in oil and gas legislation? July 28, 2024. The Parliamentary Oil and Gas Committee expressed, today, Sunday, its optimism about the imminent approval of the oil and gas law, which has been suspended for 19 years. Noting that its delay came because it is a political pressure card used throughout the past years in forming successive governments. Committee member Nazim al-Shabli told Sumeria News that the oil and gas law is the most important suspended law, noting that it was used as a political pressure card in forming governments. However, al-Shabli expected that the most serious government in this file is the al-Sudani government, noting that clear committees have been formed between Baghdad and the Kurdistan regional government, but until now the government has not sent the final version to the House of Representatives or the Oil Committee. Al-Shabli expressed the hope of the Oil Committee that the relevant committees will resolve the issue and send it to Parliament, as the law has benefits in regulating oil exports and stopping smuggling or selling oil outside SOMO, believing that this issue will be resolved in the coming days. He stressed that the delay in the law came because it is a political card, especially since the region wants the law and considers it to be in its interest. In addition to the fact that it has old obligations and contracts with foreign companies, in addition to the continuation of smuggling. About a year has passed since the formation of the committee to draft the oil and gas law, after a 19-year delay in the law that regulates the relationship between Baghdad and Erbil regarding the management of oil in Kurdistan and the rest of the provinces, while the law is considered one of the most important laws that have been suspended for years, amounting to more than 150 laws. Clare, the Ministry of Commerce discusses with World Bank representatives a strategy to support entrepreneurship and establish local companies. July 28, 2024, the Private Sector Development Department at the Ministry of Trade held a meeting, remotely, with representatives of the World Bank to discuss a strategy to support entrepreneurship, owners of small and medium enterprises and startups to advance the local economic reality. The ministry stated in a statement that the meeting discussed the basic pillars of the entrepreneurship system that will be evaluated by World Bank experts through surveys, and the application of laws specific to these projects, in addition to holding discussion sessions with project owners and presenting recommendations on policies for each pillar. The statement explained that the meeting came out with several recommendations aimed at developing the Iraqi private sector to advance the local economic reality. Referring to the pioneering role of the Private Sector Development Department in providing support to owners of small and medium enterprises, which is part of its tasks. On the other hand, the Investment Committee of the General Company for Central Markets at the Ministry of Trade held its periodic meeting to discuss its investment projects plan, and the circulars received by the company related to investment projects in Baghdad and the governorates, including the recommendations of the Ministerial Council for Social Services regarding the Iraqi Construction Council, as well as the mechanism for compensating contractors. The statement added that the meeting urged the follow-up committees to complete the tasks assigned to them and prepare reports and correspondence to the relevant sectoral authorities to ensure the speedy completion and opening of these projects and set a time frame for their completion and submit periodic reports on the completed work. Clare, renewing its commitment to the truce. Al-Qatab, a mysterious faction targeting Americans in Iraq. July 28, 2024, the Saeed al-Shuhada Brigades, one of the factions that form the Islamic resistance in Iraq, said on Sunday that it does not know who is carrying out the targeting of the American forces stationed at the Ain al-Assad base in Anbar Governorate, and the forces stationed in the Syrian bases. A prominent leader in the brigades told Shafaq news agency, the Islamic resistance group in Iraq, as well as the Resistance Coordination Committee, do not know which party or group is bombing and targeting the American forces, disclaiming responsibility for those operations. The leader, who asked not to be named, added that the Saeed al-Shuhada brigades are committed to the calm so far, and perhaps there is a faction working on these operations individually as a means of pressure, but without knowledge from that party. Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani is seeking to pressure pro-Iranian armed factions to stop their escalation against American interests and targets in Iraq, according to informed sources. Fearing American reactions that might escalate and confuse the security situation inside Iraq, al-Sudani contacted Iranian figures in order to pressure those factions to stop escalating their operations, and to give him a new opportunity to end the American presence in Iraq through dialogue and negotiation, but the factions still reject these pressures, according to the sources. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: Dinar Recaps.